Good morning, dear students of class 8. Today in your English online class, you are going to read a lesson from your supplementary reader, It So Happened. Now students, here on this slide, you see picture of two gardens. One side, what do you see? In the garden, children are playing and they look very happy. On the other side, you see a garden, but in this garden, there are no children, so there is no happiness. So today we are going to read a lesson, The Selfish Giant, from your supplementary reader, It So Happened by Oscar Wilde. Now, a little bit about the author of this lesson. Oscar Wilde was an Irish poet and playwright. Some of the famous stories that he has written for children are The Selfish Giant, The Nightingale and the Rose, The Devoted Friend, The Happy Prince, The Remarkable Rocket, The Young King. So today in your English class, you will read the story The Selfish Giant by Oscar Wilde. Now let us start the story. Lovely garden. It was a large, lovely garden with soft green grass. Here and there over the grass stood beautiful flowers like stars, and there were 12 peach trees that in the springtime broke out into delicate blossoms of pink and pearl, and in the autumn bore rich fruit. The birds sat on the trees and sang so sweetly. Every afternoon, while coming from school, the children used to go and play in the giant's garden. So, the garden belonged to the giant, and children loved to play in this garden. Probably the giant who was the owner of this garden was not around. Now the giant had gone to his friend's house, and one day the giant came back. He had gone to his friend the Cornish oak and had stayed with him for 7 years. So for 7 years the giant had gone away to visit his friend the Cornish oak. And when he returned back after 7 years to his house, he saw his garden and he became furious. He was very angry because he saw the children playing in his garden. The giant returned back home, and when he arrived, he saw the children playing in the garden. "What are you doing here?" he cried in a gruff voice, and the children ran away. "My own garden is my own garden," said the giant. "Anyone can understand that. I will allow nobody to play in it but myself." And so he built a high wall all around it and put up a notice board. So the giant objected. He got angry. He did not want anyone in his garden except himself. And to stop children from playing, he built a huge wall and he put up a notice board. Now he built a high wall all around his garden and he put up a notice board. "Trespassers will be prosecuted," means anyone who tried to pass by his garden, they are going to be punished. And why he did all this? Because he was a very selfish giant. He was a very selfish giant. Now the poor children had nowhere to play. They tried to play on the road, but the road was very dusty and full of hard stones, and they did not like it. They used to wander round the high walls when their lessons were over, and they used to talk about the beautiful garden inside. They loved to go, but they were helpless. How happy we were there, they said to each other. So they remembered those days when they played happily in the giant's garden. But sadly, now they were not allowed. So the selfish garden, the selfish giant, he lived in his garden all alone. And nobody was there to share his happiness, his sorrow. And the giant, the selfish giant, he spent his days all alone. So let us recapitulate this lesson, revise this lesson. The Selfish Giant by Oscar Wilde. The Giant's Garden. Very beautiful garden. Children love to play in his garden. The giant was not around. But after 7 years, when he returned back to his garden, to his home, he became very angry because he saw the children playing in his garden. To stop the children from coming to his garden, he built a wall and he put a notice, trespassing not allowed. Nobody will enter his garden. The children became sad. Why he did all this? Because he was a selfish giant. He did not want children to come and play in his garden. He was very mean and he remained in his garden all alone. So today we have completed first part of this lesson. After watching the video, you are going to write down the important points in your notebooks and you are going to read the text of this lesson from your books. Thank you, students.